Have you ever had a friend that secretly hated you for no reason? Well, I have, and I'm going to give you a story time. We are going to call her Sarah. Me and Sarah were friends for over 5 years before I had to absolutely block her on everything. Like, for example, we used to have sleepovers with, like, groups of girls, and she would brutally pick on me the whole entire time, and not just, like, funny, joking friend comments, like, very mean comments, like, about my body. I was very skinny at the time. She would say that I was throwing up all my food, go eat a hamburger, like, very rude stuff. But then, like, other times, if it was just us, she would be so nice, and she was great, so it was literally just around other people. She would also call me stupid 24/7 and tell me how she was so much smarter than me and was going to be more successful than me in life because I was just stupid. And this was like a 24/7 conversation that would get brought up. I also vividly remember one time when I was like 14, she was having a bunch of people over to swim. So we went inside, like all the girls, to change into our swimsuits, and we're like all in the same room, like in different corners. And she literally gets everyone to turn around to laugh at my body and tell me how skinny I was and how I shouldn't swim and I should go eat more instead. And these are like comments she was telling me like as a child, and as we got into high school and stuff, honestly, the stuff just got getting worse and worse. But we'd been friends for so long, like, and I was basically used to it at the point I didn't even realize like how terrible things she was doing were. I also used to tell her about how I wanted to be an influencer, and that was like a known thing I would like tell people because really it was my dream. And she would send my TikToks in group chats laughing at me and tell me that she was going to be so much more successful than me and that that was never going to happen for me. She was also one of those girls that anytime a guy was around or any of our guy friends or anything, she would start putting me down instantly and saying like horrible things about me and making them jokes and saying like she was just joking and it's funny when they were like really mean jokes. Eventually I realized as I got older that like that is not a friend that I wanted to have, and that those were like not nice things that you should do to someone as a friend or even anyone in general. So I slowly distanced myself and stopped being friends with her. But yeah, that's my story time on how I had a friend that literally hated me. Bye.
Why does no one talk about how horrible birthdays are? One year I literally got done so dirty, and I will never forget that. And since then, I've literally never put effort into my birthday. Basically what happened was that this year I was like planning on just having like a little dinner for my birthday, and then we were gonna go out. So I made this group chat and I put like 11 girls in it, and I was like, I put a date and I was like, okay guys, can we go on this day? And a lot of them were busy, so I kept on like having to switch the day of the birthday. But I was like, whatever. I usually don't do like, I literally do nothing for my birthday because I hate birthdays so much that I was like, you know what, I'll compromise with everyone. Like, I'll go when everyone else can go. And then I even have people ask me, they're like, oh, can we please come to your dinner? Like, blah, blah, blah. So I'm like, yeah, of course. Like, I can definitely invite you guys. So I add them to the group chat and I tell them about the day. So I have it set in stone. I literally make a reservation. I call the place where I'm having my dinner. I'm like, can I have a table with 11 seats, right? Oh my God, this is so like humiliating thinking about 11 seats, okay? And then the day of my birthday comes, and then I'm texting the group chat. I'm like, guys, so reminder, my birthday is this day. It's this dinner, like this time. And all of a sudden, everyone starts texting me being like, oh, I can't come. I have to go pick up a shift at work. Oh, one of my friends had to go to the hospital, so I can't blame her. But like everyone just starts dropping. So it literally, or like people don't even reply in the group chat. So it goes from like 12, 11 girls to like 3 people. And one of my best friends at the time didn't even go because apparently getting her nails done was more important than coming to my birthday dinner. But I don't know. And like other people, I remember this girl was like, oh, I have to pick up a shift and stuff like that. And just people like fully did not, like they just started dropping like the day of, like literally an hour before my dinner. And obviously excuses like started coming in, and they were like, oh, I promise, like I'll take you to a dinner after. I never got taken to a dinner. They were like, oh, I have your gifts, I'll give them to you. I never got the gift. Like I fully like did not get anything. Like I didn't hang out with anyone. Like no one made an effort for anything. And literally these poor 2 girls that came just to my dinner, I had a whole table and they were the only 2 that came. And it was just so like, I felt so bad because I was like, damn, like literally no one showed up. And I still think about that to this day. And these girls were a real one. And then 2 of the girls were like, oh yeah, we're coming. They end up coming like literally 2 hours after I told them like to come because they were getting ready. and they missed like the whole dinner. And oh my god, like thinking about it makes me so mad. And like my best friend like didn't even give me a birthday present. Not that I care, but it's like the fact that you don't come to my dinner and then don't give a present even though I gave you a present. I was just like, interesting, shows where everything lays. I remember when people like finally started coming, like literally 2-3 people, they came and didn't even wish me happy birthday, didn't even look at me. And then like we had plans to like pre-get the dinner and then go out after. And they didn't understand why I was upset. And they're like, oh, why are you so upset? Like, blah, blah. And I'm like, well, no one showed you. You didn't even show up to my birthday dinner. Like, obviously I'm gonna be upset. And yeah, that just, I don't know, solidified my answer as to why I don't talk to a lot of people back home.
This creepy man stole little girl's underwear. Story time. So I used to work at Target, and if you worked in retail of any kind, then you probably already know that you're gonna experience some very strange people. I used to work in the clothing section of Target, and on this particular day, it was a pretty slow day. So I was just walking around cleaning up the sections, folding clothes, things like that. And I noticed that there was a grown man shopping in the little girl section. And the reason I noticed him is because he had a long brown coat on with a bald head. He just looked very suspicious, but after I initially noticed him, I stopped paying attention. So fast forward a little bit, and I am in the men's section of the store now cleaning up. This dude comes over like very suspiciously, and in his arm is a bunch of underwear from the little girl section. I mean, he had at least 4 or 5 packs of underwear just from what I could see. So now I'm kind of keeping my eye on him because that's just weird, right? This man proceeds to pick up a bunch of men's shirts and pants or whatever he can find and throws it over his arm to cover up the underwear. So I tell one of my coworkers and they let security know to keep an eye on him on the cameras, so that's what they did. Well, after he gets all the men's clothes, he proceeds to walk towards the fitting room and tries to go in, but one of our coworkers stopped him. Well, she attempts to stop him. She was like, hey, is there anything I can help you with? Yada, yada, yada. He was like, I just need to use the fitting room. She's like, how many items? I need to count it. He ignores her, walks straight into the fitting room, goes inside one of the rooms, and closes the door. So I tell the store manager, and the store manager is like, okay, just keep an eye on him. If he does anything else suspicious, let me know. Anything else suspicious? This man is a walking red flag. So now at this point, it's just me and 2 other coworkers just waiting at the fitting room for this man to come out. And he sits in this fitting room for no exaggeration, like an hour, probably a little more than that. So I tell my store manager again, like, hey, what do you want us to do? He's been in there and it's been over an hour. Like, what are we supposed to do? So eventually our store manager comes over and knocks on the door. And my store manager says, hey, dude, you've been in there for a really long time. Do you need help with something? Like, is everything okay? And the guy gives him such attitude. He's like, I'm fine. Go away. There's nothing you need to do here. I'm fine. Then my store manager just walks away and it's like, keep an eye on him. Keep an eye, call the police. So maybe like 5 more minutes go by and the creepy man comes out of the dressing room, right? So to remind you, it was just me and my 2 co-workers who were girls standing there waiting for this boy to come out. So when the man comes out, he doesn't make eye contact with us. He doesn't say anything to us. One of my co-workers was like, did you find everything okay? This man takes everything that was in his hand and throws it on like the desk that was there. We're all confused and we just look at each other and start going through the clothes because when people put stuff on that desk, we're supposed to put it back onto the floor. So we start going through all the clothes and you guys, there was no little girl's underwear in sight. While this man was in the fitting room, he put all the underwear in his long brown coat to hide it. And by the time we realized that the only thing that he gave back was the men's clothes, he had already left the store and vanished. Working in retail is no joke.